Yes, and welcome to another Diablo Immortal video, actually a video about mobile games in general, because today the topic is pretty serious. The video that I'm going to react to is called "Should I Refund $100K on Diablo Immortal?" The YouTuber that released that video is called JT, it's all business. I've seen some videos of him, but the problem is he reached a point in the game after spending $100,000, by his words, that just makes sure that he cannot participate in the ultimate game mode. And on top of that, he cannot participate in the game mode he actually loves. So by spending $100,000, he got to a situation where the game is locked for him. He cannot enjoy it. And there are 300 other people that are affected by his inability to join the ultimate game mode of Diablo Immortal. So basically this will mean that, let me quickly share with you what's the goal of Diablo Immortal. There's Immortals, 300 people, and the Shadows. The Shadows are trying to overcome Immortals. There's a cycle that goes for 3 weeks, and at the end of the cycle, you fight the Immortals. If you beat them, you overthrow the Immortals, and you become the Immortal, and the Immortals become Shadow. So the cycle repeats. If you manage to beat the Shadows, then you keep being the Immortal, which is the key objective of the game. So these guys became the Immortals 3 weeks ago, and the 300 guys spent $200, $2,000, $5,000 on the game so that they can become stronger and so that they can keep being the Immortals. And this is where the fun starts. I'm going to let you enjoy the video. I'm going to have some comments on it a little bit later. Let's see.
Here, I wanted to explain exactly what's going down and the issue I'm having. Not only that, how many people it is actually affecting. I do have my boy Skeleton with me, who is a heavy whale in the game. He's just kind of listening in. He's going to give me feedback because he does not know what's going on. However, I do want to explain, and I want to explain to all you guys as well. So basically, for the last month and a half, anytime I go to the Battleground Captain and I click Find Match, I have not been able to get a queue for the full 2-hour length of the Battlegrounds, right? 0 queues, no matter how long I've queued up, and this has now been ongoing for a month and a half. All right, well, 3 weeks ago, my clan...
The Battleground is the PvP mode, which is pretty unique for Diablo Immortal. I know a lot of people who dislike the game, but they play the game only for this mode, for some reason. Yeah, whatever. He just cannot access this mode for 1 month and a half after spending $100,000.
One time, it became the Immortals of Server Town Portal. Well, as we became Immortal, the Immortal Trial Quest told me specifically to compete in a Battleground. In order to compete the trial, therefore, I would need to actually do these quests to actually get the Immortal Wings, you know, what everybody else has, and be anointed and immortal. However, since I haven't been able to queue in the Battleground, which I would say, if I had to rough estimate how many hours I've tried to queue for a Battleground, I would say it's probably somewhere around like 48 to 72 hours, somewhere in between that, of only trying to queue for a Battleground and never being able to do it.
Wow.
All right, well, today, it came around, and tomorrow is our chance to hold the reign of being an immortal, right? Well, it sent me a little thing right here, and it said, hold on, let me click it. It's right here. It says, register for the Rite of Exile now. Tap to navigate. So it's like, all right, well, I have to register my team and me for the Rite of Exile, right? So whenever I click navigate,
that's the ultimate game mode.
Exactly where to go. You go to the Rite of Exile. I mean, it's going to take me right there, right? So we'll just let it follow there. So whenever I get here, I am not able to do anything at all, which makes me think that tomorrow, when the Rite of Exile comes, I'm not going to be able to participate in it, right?
And that's a huge problem because the leader of the Immortals is actually required to participate actively. He has a very important role. If he doesn't participate, nobody knows what happens. And this has never happened before, at least not to my knowledge, because usually the leader of the Immortals, I don't want to call him a tryhard, but he's really dedicated to the game. So him missing this event, something extraordinary should happen. So I've never had a situation before where the leader of the Immortals misses this event. And if this thing goes like this, he's unable to sign in, which basically means that he's going to miss it. And what's going to happen? Because the leader of the Immortals has to do something actively, and nobody knows what happens if he isn't there. Is it a bot controlling the Immortal? Because, yeah, the leader of the Immortal should control an Immortal that is being attacked by the Shadows. So what happens if he's not there? Who is controlling this Immortal? Nobody knows.
Okay, so that's fine. I'm not going to be able to participate in it. What do I do at this point, right? So now, what I've been thinking, I'm like, all right, well, since I'm in this situation, how about I go ahead and go over here to clan members, and we change the role, and see, I'm a clan leader, right? So I'm the clan leader, so I'm like, all right, well, if I leave the Immortal, basically, maybe it will give the Immortal to somebody else, and then we can sign up and get things going, right? Well, if I click leader the Immortal, it doesn't allow me to do that, right? And so it tells me to basically give the position to somebody else. Well, let's say I try to give this guy clan leadership. I can't perform this role either. So basically, I'm stuck as the clan leader in the Immortal clan, not being able to queue us up for Rite of Exile at all. I can't do anything about it. I can't set up the teams. Therefore, basically what's going to happen is, at least in my opinion, I'm not sure because I'll have to see tomorrow, but I'm thinking that, honestly, whoever the Shadow clan is that's fighting for Immortals probably going to be fighting against bots, because
And what if those bots are stupid? They just stand and fight. Usually, when you control the Immortal, you want to do multiple things, but the best strategy is just to try to kite the shadows because there are too many. You can start killing them, but for what I've seen, one of the best strategies is to kite them. Strike from time to time, but kite most of the time. And I don't know whether the bot is going to do that anyways. So probably he won't. And this will automatically mean that you're going to lose.
I can't register. The immortal of the clan can't register. So basically, we're just going to be handing over our immortal status. Now, just so you guys know, we have a clan of 300 members that are in this. We're all on Discord together. There's hundreds of us that are in clan one time specifically that I know that are my good friends who have spent in upwards of $5,000 or more on their character since we become immortal to hold our rank. Well, now all these guys are pissed off because there's like, there's 30 or 40 guys that at minimum spent $1,000, and none of these guys are now, I'm basically holding everybody back at this point. So now my question is, how long do I let this go and let Blizzard go about this? Because I contacted Blizzard about a little over a month ago about this situation, and what happened was at first is I went to the live chat. They then told me to go to the forums and make a forum post about it because that's how they react to people. So I went and made a forum post about it. I sent my entire Twitch audience to the forum post to try to get it, like basically to fire it up, right? To be like, hey guys, check this out. Like, this is an important post. This guy can't get into Battlegrounds. This is an issue. Well, there was over, I think, 200 comments on it. Tons of people liked it. They were trying to help. Well, since that has been posted over 3 weeks ago, Blizzard has not responded one time to that forum post. They completely ignored it. So what did I do after that? I went ahead and wrote Blizzard on Twitter to whatever Blizzard employee I could find. Blizzard got back with me on Twitter, and they said, we're not really sure like what to do about the situation. We know it's MMR based. That's why you can't get into the battleground. However, we should have it fixed in 2 weeks, but we're not really sure. So it's like, okay, so now I'm in a situation where I have spent a considerable amount of money, around $100,000 on this game, and I have a character that has not been able to do the thing that I like doing the most in this game, which is battlegrounds. Also, I'm trying to make money from this game as being a content creator plus live streaming this game on Twitch, right? So if I can't do things that I spent money on this character to do, and I have no time frame of when things are going to actually be fixed, or even know if things are going to be fixed, because I'm the only player in the entire world with this problem.
Just want to say that Blizzard actually said that they acknowledge the problem. They say, okay, we know about the problem, and that's it. Which is a little bit unacceptable for a person who has spent this amount of money. And probably the amount will probably double if you just combine the amount of money other players that are currently immortals in this server have spent. So, crazy stuff.
And the problem I'm having is when I first started this game, I spent a ton of money right at the start, right? So I was way far ahead of everybody else. And what happens is when I went into these battlegrounds, I was carrying my team no matter who was on it and literally slaughtering every single person. And so I would go like 40-0, 50-0, it didn't matter, right? I would go 100 battlegrounds without losing a single one.
On that note, I've been following JT videos for a while, and I remember when the game was released, Asmongold made a reaction to a guy, a whale, another YouTuber, destroying free-to-play or low spenders in Battleground, and he was like 40-0. And JT made a reaction of this reaction of Asmongold, stating that, you know what, it's not really that much pay to win because I don't really face free-to-play guys. I just face them in the beginning, and then you are playing in Legend, and in Legend ranking you're facing other people. So in other words, the Diablo Immortal is not really that much paid to win in PvP because you know what? You are just smashing free-to-play players that are in silver ranking, but wait to get in the Legend, then everything will be fine. No, he literally admits that every single battle he destroys it, 40-0, 50-0, and he went 200, 300 battles, losing only 3. He's going to mention that in a second. So basically, he admits that even in Legend ranking, he was destroying people. I can get his account if he gives it to me ever, and I can switch his class to a class that I've never used. For instance, Wizard. I have no idea what the Wizard does. And I'm going to go to Battleground, I'm going to smash everybody. I can guarantee that, right? So, yeah. If you are ready to spend a lot of money, Diablo Immortal is a pay-to-win game, even in PvP. It doesn't matter whether you're a Legend, doesn't matter whether you're Silver. Oh yeah, probably if you're fighting in Silver, it's going to be much easier, but instead of doing 50-0 in Legend, you're going to probably do 35-0-15, right? So yeah, you're going to be smashing people no matter what, if you're ready to spend that such amount of money. So what he's saying now compared to what he said to the Asmongold reaction is kind of contradictory, to say at least. Anyways, let's continue.
My overall Battleground record is somewhere in between 300 and 450 wins, with at max 3 total losses. And one of the losses was from a disconnect. The other losses were basically because I wasn't really paying attention, and I got...
Just to say that this has nothing to do with skill, right? There isn't a person who just relies on skill in this game in battle mode to go and do 403. It's not possible. It will never happen. So it is all about the pay-to-win aspect, right? We can all agree on that. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. If you are ready to spend that amount of money just to stomp people in PvP, go ahead and do it. I wouldn't mind getting destroyed by JT in Battleground because I know that because of people like him, the game is alive and I can enjoy it, even though I'm a low spender. kind of moderate spender, but I reached a point where I just realized that if I want to progress in the game, I have to spend a amount of money so ridiculous that I just said, no, I'm done. I'm done spending. I did 2,000 resonance. That's it for me.
Distracted in some sort of way, probably live on Twitch, right? There was never a time where I went in there trying to win and lost a battleground. It never happened. And now my matchmaking record is now so high that I literally can't get a battleground. So my question now is, it's like, do I just not do anything about this, or should I hire a lawyer and refund this account and then see what happens then? Like, I don't know. So I have my buddy Skelta here.
All right. In my opinion, I believe that whatever happens, he has to get compensated for the sole fact that he spent that such amount of money and he cannot enjoy certain game mode in the game, right? Because let's face it, such type of mobile game, especially successful mobile game like Diablo Immortal, you shouldn't just say it's a game, it's just a business. It's just a business. That's a lucrative business. And JT is one of your most precious customers. So you shouldn't let JT leave. That's the point, right? You can always try to compensate him. The problem is that Blizzard now, if they don't fix it by tomorrow, are caught between a rock and a hard place. Because what happens if tomorrow they lose their status as Immortals? If Blizzard, let's say, fix this problem in 1 week, are they going to revert them back to Immortals? And then the Shadows are going to be pissed because it's not their fault, right? They beat the Trial of Exile, whatever it was called, Rite of Exile. They beat it, they became the Immortal, and then Blizzard say, you know what, we messed up, you are Shadows again. No, that's bad. At the same time, you have JT and his clan, and 3 other clans, by the way, 300 people in total, that have spent crazy amount of money to keep being the Immortals. I have no idea why, quite frankly. I have zero intention of becoming an Immortal ever. Probably before I quit the game. I don't know when and whether I'm going to quit the game in the near future, but I just want to become the Immortal once. Unless they massively boost the rewards, because I'm not convinced at this point that being an Immortal is any worth to me, quite frankly. Anyways, so they want to they want to stay the Immortals. And obviously tomorrow they're going to get destroyed. If a bot is controlling the main Immortal, right? So they're going to lose. And what happens then? How are they going to fix the situation? It's a really, really tough spot. Please let me know in the comments, what do you think? Should they compensate JT in any way? Should they just refund the money? Will they refund the money? Because we're not talking about 1,000, we're talking about $100,000. That's incredible. That's just, wow, it's mind-blowing. Literally, people in developed countries work for like 2 years for such amount of money. So, wow. Alright guys, so I hope you found this topic interesting, because it really is $100,000 on a mobile game, and now a possibility to get refunded because at some point you spend so much that you don't know what to do with the game, and the game doesn't work anymore for you. And it's the same thing like you buy a Ferrari, it just doesn't want to start, right? The engine doesn't start. Or let's say the air conditioning doesn't work and you cannot fix it for 2 months. You drive a Ferrari without air conditioning for 2 months. How are they going to compensate you? And they just say, oh, we know about this problem, they do nothing, right? It makes zero sense. Alright guys, so it's going to be all for me today for real now. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. See you next time.
Perfect.